So get this. You've heard of this story. Downtown San Francisco, Whole Foods closing a year after opening. And they make, now this is this
the
article.
Whole Foods?
The Whole Foods. The San Francisco Standard. Now, this is a very even-handed article, but still, listen to what they're saying. They're saying one of the largest supermarkets in downtown San Francisco, the Whole Foods Market at 8th and Market Street, intends to shut down at the close of business Monday, just a little more than a year after the store opened, company officials told the Standard. We are closing our Trinity location only for the time being, a Whole Foods spokesperson said in a statement. If we feel we can ensure the safety of our team members in the store, we will evaluate a reopening of our Trinity locations. Really? The City Hall source told the Standard the company cited deteriorating street conditions around drug use and crime near the grocery store as a reason for its closure.
Well, you said you didn't want bomb robots.
You're right. Since the start of the pandemic, downtown has suffered a massive loss in foot traffic due to remote work. And many small businesses have shuttered, while examples of extreme poverty, drug use, and mental illness on the street have become more apparent. Well, if there's less foot traffic and all these businesses have shuttered, maybe there's less people there to actually buy shit at the Whole Foods. You ever think of that? Well, maybe. Fears of a doom loop in which a cascade of negative financial impacts compound have spread across the city, and City Hall officials currently expect a nearly $800 million deficit in San Francisco's budget. One idea recently floated to confront the crisis is converting vacant downtown office space into thousands of units of student housing. I don't understand how that would help the problem of street crime and drug use.
Student housing?
I'll
tell you what it'll add to is drug use.
That's more drug use, right?
That's what it was when I had
The beleaguered grocery store on Market Street slashed its opening hours due to high theft and hostile visitors in October of last year, according to one of the store's managers. And in November, the store enforced new bathroom rules after syringes and pipes were found in the restroom. The market takes up 64,737 square feet, and the company called the mid-market neighborhood location its flagship store in a press release announcing the supermarket's opening in March of last year. So here's what people are saying. San Francisco Whole Foods closes amid crime wave, says the Washington Times. This guy says crime in San Francisco is so bad that Whole Foods was forced to close down after only 1 year in business. Now, there's a different article from a local blogger, the Independent San Francisco News. This is what this is called, 48 Hills. It says, no, the closure of Whole Foods does not mean the city is headed for collapse. What? I went back and looked at the conditional use application that Whole Foods filed back in 2018 to open the store under the newly renovated Trinity Plaza apartments. The store required a conditional use because it's considered formula retail. I don't even know what that means. The company applied on September 11th, 2018. Back then, mid-market was booming, filled with tech workers whose companies were attracted by a tax break. So in that area where they were going to open the store, it was booming at that time, which is why they decided to open the store. Twitter and Zendesk and Uber and Dolby were just a few of the companies that had thousands of workers just a short walk from the Whole Foods site. Housing for hundreds more high-income people was in the planning pipeline. That made it a perfect place for a high-end grocery outlet. The planning department approved the conditional use in December 2018. Again, at the time, there were people dealing and using drugs in the UN Plaza, as there are today. As housing activist Sarah Short notes, wait, did Whole Foods really plop down a high-end, overpriced store smack in the middle of the most poverty-stricken neighborhood across from where the city's neediest residents gather and then blame that neighborhood and those residents for its closure? My head is spinning. Well, it's a little bit of a different story than you're hearing, right? What also happened was a global pandemic, a profound shift to work-at-home culture in the tech industry, followed by massive layoffs, and Elon Musk. At the same time, the bottom fell out of the housing industry, and many of the new luxury units slated for that area never got built. He fired 80% of the people, or laid off 80% of the people from Twitter. So the market that Whole Foods was counting on sort of vanished. The Twitter tax break turned out to be a failure for so many reasons. Do you think that might be the real reason that Amazon, which owns Whole Foods, is pulling out of the area? That's what it sounds like. So it sounds like we were being told one thing, that they want you to think one thing about San Francisco and what's happening. And it's all, by the way, there is crime happening in San Francisco, and they have no ideas on how to deal with their homeless problems, with their mental health problems, with their drug problems. They have no ideas on how to deal with these things. Although the governor of the state said last year or the year before that they had a $40 billion surplus in California alone
from not taking care of that problem.
And so why wouldn't you go give $1 billion and fix San Francisco? Start building housing for people and give what you need to do is build mental health facilities and give people mental health care and drug treatment. That's what you need to do. In the 80s, they closed all those. And that's what started the homeless problem in America. We didn't have a homeless problem in America until Ronald Reagan in the 80s. And then he cut the funding for cities and all their mental health facilities. And now all those people just get kicked out onto the street. And so, but that's not all the homeless. A lot of the homeless are working. They live in their cars.
You're just the ones you see a lot of those.
Yeah,
ones.
the ones that you see a lot are the ones who are mentally ill and drug addicted. And we should take care of them for sure. But there's also thousands and tens of thousands and not hundreds of thousands of people who aren't in that situation who are also homeless. Many of them children, also many of them veterans.
Yeah,
a lot of people are mentally disabled and physically disabled who are homeless. Up to like 35% of the people who are homeless are either children, physically disabled, or mentally disabled.
Well,
again, we can fix all these. Those people you see on the street are homeless. They need drug centers. They need drug rehabilitation. They need mental health. They need to be put in somewhere and be taken care of. And we can do it. We have the money. Like I said, they had a $40 billion surplus. We have the money. We can take care of ourselves in this country. But you know what? The homeless people, they don't have a lobbyist in Sacramento. That's why that never gets taken care of. And you know who does have lobbyists? Real estate developers, the oil and gas companies, big pharma, and health insurance companies, banks. They all have. So that's why whenever a legislature gets together, they're not legislating for the workers or for the people. They're legislating on the behalf of the oligarchy in this country, which is why we still have people living under every bridge, and they won't even fix the bridges. Anything you want to say to this story?
Well, obviously the crime's going to go up because where do the cops usually give the most delicate attention to? The high tax base region. So if you don't have those people living there in the luxury apartments, it's not going to have that kind of attention.
Right. I wonder what's going to happen to San Francisco. I wonder what's going to happen to California.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's unbelievable. Go to jimmydore.com to see my new stand-up special, COVID Lies Are Funny. For only $10, you get to become a premium member, too. And come see us do our live shows. We're going to be doing stand-up comedy in Milwaukee, Nashville, Honolulu, Los Angeles, Northampton, Massachusetts, Syracuse, New York, Cohoes, New York, Hartford, Connecticut, Baltimore, Maryland, and more. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.